finest Dota teams to wage battle for the Aegis of Champions and carve their names into the chronicles of history. Clashing in tournaments around the globe, each contender has earned the right to stand here. For some, the road called upon the consistency expected of champions, and a resurgent power rose to join them at their best. Some teams have defied expectation to merely arrive here. Others still seek to harness the full potential of expectation to merely arrive here. They gather now at the chosen place to harness the full potential of expectation, where the fire of the faithful burns bright, and a legacy of Dota triumph runs to the very core. Each team must run the final gauntlet, where one moment can spark the rise to greatness, and a single misstep can bring it all to ruin. 16 teams compete for ultimate glory. Only one can claim immortality. Who will emerge victorious? The battle begins.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest celebration of Dota 2 on planet Earth. It is, of course, the one and only, the International 2019, live from Shanghai in China. For the very first time, the International on Asian soil. And what a start to the day. I've got Lacoste, Lyrical, and Trent alongside us. Gents, I'm kind of glad. You might have noticed it's a little bit noisy in here. It's absolutely packed to the rafters, by the way. Gents, I'm glad we don't have to break down and analyse the opening ceremony, because I don't even know where we begin. Maybe with Ice dodging through rather than doing that. I don't know. What a great start.
I mean, it's amazing that an opening ceremony can make me kind of forget that we just played all those group stage games, because none of that matters. What matters is how you perform here, and I think that ceremony just, it gives you the shivers, man.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, some of the videos in the middle as well, Lacoste. So I saw, some old stuff. You were back there.
Yeah, I was there, but there was no shot of me, sadly. They showed only the good players, but it still gives me chills. I could actually see my hair on the hand getting up. I mean, it's extremely good to be here in Shanghai, China, and this is what we want to see. This is the most beautiful time of the year.
Yeah, it is. Lyrical, what did you make of that first 20 minutes of the day? What
a
way to
blew
start.
my mind. It was unbelievable. And like every single moment of it too, you could just hear the crowd reacting. I've never seen it this big. It's on a Tuesday morning. And they're all out here. It's 9 in the morning. What the heck's happening?
I came in and I kind of just, we sat down and we kind of got ready. You just kind of look around and you go, holy crap, they're packed. How did they all get in here? I didn't even notice them. And then opening ceremony started, that noise. You'll hear it come through our mics, I'm sure. But it's absolutely incredible. Trent, I also I was measuring the ring levels.
Yeah.
Because, suddenly I was like, oh, wow, they really like Team Liquid. They really like Virtus Pro. I don't know. It's just crazy.
It worked. The jerseys, right?
The jersey.
Panda?
Yeah.
They were so smart. They were so smart.
I heard tried something similar. It wasn't quite as loud, but there's a little bit of a
All right, well, we're going to get more from you guys because we've got plenty to talk about before we head into analysing, I guess. Let's loosely call it that. But of course, we want to introduce you to more of our broadcast team, two of which are they're like the Abbott and Costello of Dota 2, or the No Tail and Fly. No, actually, Casey Slacks, rescue me.
Oh, well, you've come to the right place, my friend.
Hello. So good to be back, Casey.
We're so excited to be here. Some of our favorite things to do every TI is to talk with fans. And the fact that we're able to do that here in China is so exciting for me. And we've already been able to talk to a bunch of people. We can't wait to bring you their stories.
Absolutely. I've been all over the world for Dota, and there's always that group of people that are screaming, the Chinese fans, no matter what, wherever I go. And now it's the entire arena, man. It's fantastic. I can't wait to be here in person.
The arena is packed. You guys excited?
Yes.
Excited. Yeah. 我喜欢 Shanghai. Shanghai 很美.
Shanghai 很美.
We're really excited for some good Dota 2.
Oh, I cannot wait. It's the best year competitive that we've seen so far. We're going to bring the action, and we're going to talk to real people here on the ground, Casey.
Yes, we are. All right, let's send it back to the panel.
Thank you very much, Casey Slacks, as ever. A bunch of fun, enjoying themselves.
Yeah,
as a
no,
whole.
definitely. And I think that they've got a unique challenge here, trying to make it work amongst the crowd. But already they got the lingo down. They're good to go.
Yeah, Casey is absolutely amazing. So
I mean,
she
they
needs to
both
teach
are.
me.
The combination between these two is just.
No, but her Chinese, I mean.
Oh,
she
yeah,
needs to teach- I want
that
to learn
as well.
more. Like, that was amazing. I was like, wow, where did that come from?
I was expecting Slacks to speak some Chinese as well.
Were you?
Well, maybe later of the day.
Okay, we should get into things because we've got plenty to talk about before we get to our first game of the day. Our first series of the day, of course, 2 from the upper bracket. But before we get there, why don't we check in with a fantastic, probably the best ever group stage at TI.
The battle for the Aegis of Champions began. Standout teams found their stride early, leveraging Titan teamwork to stay near the head of the pack.
Oh no, oh no. Oh, Nico. He does the buyback and bubble, the Ravage. It hits the back lines. KP's gone and the double Laguna through the Grimstroke. He didn't even need to refresh it for that one.
Get ready, they're just going to end it. They can end it because
They can.
of that. Look at this. The Anna IO.
Look at this.
They're just going into there. They can't do anything. They're all just spraying.
But the buyback comes out immediately. Triple kill for Paparazzi. This man smells blood, wants to find the ET. He did so much damage to me earlier, but I'm going to get up to ultra kill and kill you off as well. Not Earthshaker anymore.
Oh, he's back.
He's back again, and Earthshaker, the switch back forward, finds the rampage.
Each group was stacked with the world's finest Dota talent, and nothing in this world comes without a fight.
Gabby's in trouble. Gabby's shot down. It's Nisha with the triple kill. And he may not be done yet. The multicast come out, but it was Lotus. So
Got the
Nisha's
heading.
ready to turn. He looks to Cuckoo. That's going to be an ultra kill. He's not done
He's
yet.
getting a
Stepping forward. He's just shooting them all. Nisha, he's got a goddamn gun inside.
Sai
Steals
takes
the
it.
rampage side. Come on, Sai. They'll kill Miracle. Miracle holding on to the buyback for now. Now her buyback GH with a freezing field in the midst of it all. The being
Hey,
on. They get
gotta go.
Miracle. The two-man vortex. He's zipping around. They're
Oh
popping
my
out the
God.
Raiders. They've got Gabby. They're going to look towards Cuckoo. They'll get Cuckoo as well. It's a double kill for GH as Liquid are holding.
Another bash off the back of the meld. The duel is out, but it won't be enough. E-Blade Pop trying to actually protect the Legion, but she's already down the Requiem. It's so far away. I need a binoculars to see that ability. That's GG. Infamous are calling it. All the confidence is gone.
Veteran players had to find the will to triumph, forging order from chaos to give their teams a glimpse of life.
Epicenter is there. They're looking for this Tiny. Yeah, he loaded with the Burrow Strike. Tiny's still in all sorts of trouble here. He does have a toss if he wants to try and use it. Echo Slam catches out 3. Miracle absolutely destroying them. He's got the Maledict on him, though. He's going to take a lot of damage here. Old Chicken is just holding his ground. He's life-stealing back up as well. But he gets crit. He gets deleted. Miracle. Oh, that damage. Holy moly.
He's slow on life. He'll try and hit your Rhinos out of S-Body. Get the hell out of here. Burrow Strike in 1 second, but the mana, it got taken away by the Mystic Snake. They have to pump out. They have to fight. At least he'll be able to get one dive back over on the Tusker, or maybe he can get more. A double kill for Arteezy. A triple kill for Arteezy. He's just turned his crap on. Ultra kill, giving the Rampage to Pat.
After 4 days of grueling battle, the field has narrowed. For those who survived, the ultimate test on the main stage awaits.
There we go then, that's the group stage. We're going to recap as well and talk a little bit more about it because it was one of the most fascinating group stages we've had, Jen. So I'm excited every time the first game starts, but I have to tell you, when the first game started in the group stage, and it was Alliance banning techies in the first phase bans against Secret, and then Alliance are winning for 20 minutes, dominating, and then Secret come up, I was thinking, what if it's half as good as that game for the rest of the game? I'm happy. It just got better.
You knew it's going to be the greatest group stage ever when you saw the techies banned, the IO being played as a carry, position 4 Invoker. A lot of these heroes are being played in untraditional roles, and this is just the beauty of the Dota.
They're making new traditions now out of these heroes. Like, I'm going to see position 4 Invoker in all of my pubs. We're going to see carry IO. We're going to have to get a lot of reports, right? Yeah, no, it's going to be a problem. But I think that it's not just the hero picks. It's like the gameplay, the comeback from mega creeps. It's been crazy.
And Trent, I also like the fact that we've had a lot. It feels like a really wide range of styles. No one's really figured everything out. Like, OG have got this kind of crazy, we'll just pick anything and play anything and whatever.
Yes.
We'll play IO carrier, we don't care. But then the other teams are kind of like not playing for it. Like Infamous, they've only played 34 heroes. Compare that to Chaos, who played 57 during the group stages.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And as the group stage, tends to go on, we start to narrow it a little bit for the heroes. So we do have some of our standout heroes, of course, right? We got like the Sober Magi going on, the Elder Titan, who ends up being the most
popular.
picked there too, and then all the combinations with him, like the Gyrocopter, all that magic damage and stuff. So we're figuring them out, but that is what's scary, right? Because you still don't know where you could go, and there's so many heroes that still haven't been touched that are TI classics. I mean, the Darkseer hasn't been picked. Keeper of the Light. That guy went one liquid
you know
TI.
why?
Why don't we take a quick look, actually, at the heroes that we haven't...
Do you have that power?
We might have that, because we're prepared here at the International. So let's take a look at the heroes that haven't been played yet, because there are only 7 of them.
Yeah, if you buff Darkseer, he's not gonna get picked. That's just the way it is.
Wait,
in every single patch he gets a nerf. Keep first ban, first pick material, and now he gets 25 damage on the Vake.
The group stage, we played 144.
I'm a very, very...
Virtus Pro have... Turning of the... PSG.LGD to the arena, and the chants have already begun. If Virtus Pro had a pretty average season, PSG.LGD had a terrible regular season comparison. No majors to their name. Didn't look all good all the way through. Have struggled in plenty of those tournaments as well. But they've come here with one purpose. Avenge the defeats they suffered 12 months ago in the grand final to OG Esports. And do it on home soil and become first-time champions of the International. It's incredible, actually, gents, when I think about it, that LGD, this legendary name of Dota 2, has never taken the Aegis.
It's pretty unbelievable. And at various points, they've had a couple of different teams that have been up in the top echelon. I think back to TI7, you know, LFY and LGD, both making it up there, and it blows my mind. I have to also say, I think I need to go to a doctor because I've had goosebumps for the past hour. It keeps going.
It's fine. I think if you have got it, it's spread, because okay. I've got it as well. I've seen the cost rubbing his neck a little bit and stuff, so I think we've got goosebumpitis.
Oh yeah, I mean this is actually extremely exciting. LGD, FY was in 2 grand finals of TI, but never
the only player
never
that
won them.
2 and not win.
Yeah, and I love what Poppy said, that China is the cradle of Dota. When no one knew how to play Dota, we came into the China misery with not eHome and the LGD International to learn how to actually play Dota.
Yeah, they definitely set the early meta of this game.
I think you should go back, learn a little bit more about Buddy. Just spamming some pudge in the pub.
Do you know, I was actually thinking, you guys have been fairly civil and polite so far. I was expecting a bit more spice.
We're going to save it for a little bit later, right? Wait till things get a little, when you need it. Yeah. For now, we don't need to do much because the crowd is kind of carrying us here.
Let's talk about these 2 teams in group stage, Trent. 8-8 for Virtus.Pro struggled for the most part and only got through on that final day. One game. It was effectively a best of 1 for the upper bracket, which they won, obviously. PSG, on the other hand, that have the second best record. And when you look at all of the stats, they feature in the top 2 or 3 teams for most kills, least deaths, best GPM, least deaths on a play. They're up there in the top 2 or 3. Virtus.Pro don't feature in the top 10 for anything other than deaths.
No, and they started okay, right? I mean, they're coming to this tournament. They won some majors, well, a major. They're like, it's Virtus.Pro, of course. I'm going to go for Virtus.Pro, right? Yep. These are good players. They've had their historic struggles at TI. I mean, we're not going to lie to you. I mean, that wasn't going to happen. It was, I think, when they got 0-2'd by Na'Vi, it's just like, oh, that's not good. And then suddenly you're down, right? They lost another 2 after that, and then every single draw, you're just treading water, right? You're not gaining back up there, and it wasn't right till the end, as you said, where they finally just squeaked their way up, and then everyone's like, oh, see, I knew VP would be upper bracket.
But
it was worried.
But gents, isn't that the mark of a really good team? The one that aren't playing well, haven't quite figured the meta out, but still somehow make the upper bracket.
Well, you need to play good all the time, and fans were a little bit considering whether they're gonna make it or not, but this is not the VP that we're used to. Like, we know the full divide dot cover. They go all in, the aggressive. You lose 1 or 2 heroes, and suddenly you don't have the Raxes, and this is not what we've seen from Virtus.Pro.
To your point, though, the thing that I was going to mention is that it felt like they had different ideas coming in when they started compared to when they ended. Right. You look at it, it's like Leshrac and Vengeful Spirit. They're the only team, except for one, that played Vengeful Spirit. They all lost every single game that they played with it. So if they can just get through on pure skill, it's the type of a team that can come back and really make a run.
Yeah, later on, they seem to have moved more towards so PSG playing Ogre and ET straight away, so they kind of figured it out. Virtus.Pro kind of gone that way. Oh, okay, that's the meta. Yeah, we figured it out. So they've got good captain, they've got great players. We know they can come back. But what is it about TI, Trent? Because they don't perform here. They did in 2018, they did in 2017 either.
I think for both teams, right, after these performances, when you feel like you're strong teams, you have that question of just like, everyone's looking around the room after the game ends, like, all right, guys, what's going on? Are we staying together? What's the plan here? And Virtus.Pro, I think, was a team that a lot of people did not think would be staying together, if I had to guess, after last year, right? I would have expected some sort of changes or something, but no, they stuck it out.
They did.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they went for that sort of a change, the shift the blame scapegoat kind of change. Perfect. And then LGD was kind of the same thing, but, it's second place at TI, so that I can more understand, right? We feel like we can make that change, and we can do it. So both these teams coming back again, same guys, but hopefully fresher and stronger.
It's funny, actually, as well. PSG didn't have the best of seasons. Didn't win a major, obviously, weren't very competitive. They were fine, but they weren't greatly competitive. Weren't up there with the secrets of this world. And yeah, every time they placed against VP, they had really good games. They actually finished ahead of VP, 5-4 or head-to-head during the regular season. So they've got their number 12 months ago, let's not forget. 2-0'd Virtus.Pro to send them to the lower bracket. So
they definitely know how to play against Virtus.Pro. I mean, their styles are pretty much similar with the aggressiveness, but Virtus.Pro's aggressive level kind of dropped. And as you said, LGD, they were not even in top 3 at any major. I think that's the mental thing that they need to go through.
Yeah. Does it matter, Trent, in the end, when it comes down to it? You know, we're at TI. Anything goes
matter.
now, right?
Well,
Right now, it doesn't matter.
Everyone that's left in has a chance.
They do. I would say, though, that the big problem for VP is they're sort of a victim of their own success, that they've never had to struggle during the regular season because they're just that much better. And so when they do struggle at TI, all of the pressure is on them. It's a different feeling, right? Like, you have a different feeling when you've actually never been challenged, really, and you just dominate everybody all year long. It's different. It's tough.
Yeah, I'm glad you raised pressure, because I also want to bring up the pressure on Chinese teams must be enormous. Every time we come out here, guys, right, we talk about this because it happens a lot, right? You know, we talk about the home fan advantage, home crowd advantage, hometown advantage, whatever you want to call it. But actually, it seems to work the opposite way, Lacoste, in China, because the Chinese teams feel like there's more pressure. I mean, we have fans in the hotel last night on the first and second floor just trying to find players.
Yeah, they're
running
very,
around,
very proudful about their country, as everyone is.
Yeah.
And I mean, if this is the year that they are going to take TI, it's this. Vici Gaming's looking extremely strong. Same goes
So you don't think
LGD.
it matters for them? You don't think that pressure on them is bad?
Well, it's a lot of pressure, but I mean, these are all experienced players who know how to play under a lot of pressure, and once you're in the booth, I don't think you're thinking about anything else rather than Dota 2.
I think the pressure that I would be more concerned about for them is the pressure they put on themselves,
right,
as opposed to the pressure they're
I've
feeling.
got to win because I'm in China.
Exactly.
All the eyes are on, but it's like I'm putting pressure.
Exactly. So, you know, the stress. It's just a very stressful event, and I think for players in particular, the big goal is just to get out of that and let's get into the Dota game and just focus on that.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of going back to the intros, if there's one man on PSG.LGD that gets the biggest cheer, it's maybe every time. And he's such an icon out here.
Yeah, and he did something this year that Solo did as well, right? Where he took a break, where this idea of just like not grinding through the entire year constantly. And LGD used the opportunity to bring up one of their younger players, right? They had, I think it was XM who came in. He played a bunch of matches with them, and he was on one of like the minor teams kind of in the area. And so, cool, this guy gets some good experience, maybe gets a break, very good stuff. VP, they do the same thing, right? Solo took a break, and Arzik gets that new perspective, right? He's actually playing in the games, kind of maybe seeing how his team communicates a little bit more in an actual official and stuff. So I think both these teams, that's what it comes down to. It's focusing on TI. It's not about these majors or these minors throughout the year.
It's looking ahead.
Just get here, and then we'll play the real Dota.
I have to disagree with you, Paul, a little bit. I think cheering for Ame was the loudest one, because people love Ame. He's my favorite
Have
player
you got some
from
sort
LGD.
of crowd measuring tool under here?
I just have a good hearing.
Okay,
that's all.
well, I definitely don't.
So we love Ame because when he plays Dota, you know something good and bad is going to happen. Mostly it's good, but they've been picking a lot of Void. And this is the hero that either you look extremely good or what is this guy doing? And they picked Void 4 or 5 times.
5 times, 4 or 1
yeah.
And he tended to look good. We should say that. There
most
two
of the
minutes
time.
For now.
Exactly.
Yeah, until Virtus Pro figure him out some way. And then he's actually just 1 game away, by the way, from 300 career wins with PSG.LGD.
Wow.
I mean, because you think of I think of LGD these days, not of Gel8. I actually think of LGD with maybe because he's coming up for like 1,200 games or something ridiculous. But Army's been there a long time now. He's part of the furniture as well.
And what's crazy is that he's relatively young too. A young guy, young player. It feels like a lot of people take inspiration from him too. Like across all the other scenes. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like whenever what is it? LGD Ame fan. That's like the big meme on Reddit, right? That's some insider or whatever. They love him.
Yeah,
exactly.
And he comes with the new jungle strats, right? He gets the new item built, and you see the NA pubs guys like, oh, what's Ame doing over there? Oh, okay, I'm gonna try that in my game. For some reason, it doesn't work nearly as well. I don't know what's up with that, but
not quite. Virtus Pro got plenty of cheers though on the way in. Obviously been decorating themselves with Chinese words. I think that's really smart, by the way. Just a side story, but I think it's really smart that they've appealed to the Chinese fans by changing all the names on the back, and they've got some decorations on the front, and it's obviously paid dividends. So obviously the majority of the fans here cheer for LGD.
Yeah, but I think the crowd loves Virtus Pro. They are cheering for good Dota. They want to see LGD winning 2-1 against Virtus Pro because I think everyone wants to see Game 3 here.
Yeah, I would love to Game 3 for fantasy points alone.
There, now you're really thinking,
I messed up. I didn't do my fantasy.
Lyrical. Come on now.
My bad.
Well, whilst he sucks, let's go over to 3 men that don't suck too much.
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here. My name's Tsunami, and I'm joined by 2 men whose streams you've probably fallen asleep to. It's Cinder and Purge. It's a pleasure to be here. We are bringing back the draft panel. It's been a long time coming, but we don't really trust them to talk about the Dota. I trust you two to talk about the Dota. Guys, it's LGD versus VP. These teams always face off at the beginning of TI. How is this fated to be all the time? Oh, they're both really good.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Extremely good players. I mean, it's going to happen. You get winner bracket, and there's only, 4 options, so yeah.
I like what they mentioned on the panel over there, that Virtus Pro had a really slow start, which is kind of unusual, I want to say. Generally, when we've seen VP in big tournaments, they come in really hot, and then they get cold when it gets crunch time for main events. This time around, they've had to struggle through the groups, which could end up being helpful for them, getting this experience of learning from losses. We've seen plenty of times in previous tournaments that teams that start up losing and regain momentum suddenly go really far. OG barely got 4th in groups last year. They end up winning the whole thing. Yeah. We've had plenty of tournaments with teams like Evil Geniuses with slow starts.
Yeah, I think what's important is that the teams that ultimately want to win TIs, they do what they think is best. They don't try to follow the meta, and I think VP is a lineup that is doing that, even though they had that rough start. One thing that I thought was really interesting about looking over their past drafts is the one hero that they didn't pick or ban the whole group stage was Ogre Magi, which is mind-blowing considering the fact that almost every other team prioritizes it as like the 3rd or 4th best hero, ideally as offlane, sometimes as support. So that's something that could be really interesting going into the draft.
He's been the hero of the tournament, and for Virtus Pro, they seem to be favoring a little bit more of this like Shadow Demon support type thing, as we should see the draft beginning shortly. LGD versus VP, Game 1. It is a best of 3 in this upper bracket. We're going to start taking a look at the heroes.
They're jumping into it pretty quick. No Ogre ban or pick. Enchantress was definitely one of the most important heroes for everybody here. VP ended up banning that in the first stage. In the first 2 picks, we have a Silencer Earthshaker for Virtus Pro, and for LGD, we have a Rubik and a Tide Hunter.
Silencer first phase, Cinderin. Yeah. What is all this happening? I love this hero. And I think Solo has a very good understanding of how to play it in lane. Silencer was a hero going into this tournament that I thought teams were in general going to rate higher than they have, but VP was definitely one of the top teams that I would be looking to pick this hero more than others. Simply, even the possibility of running it core, which I don't know if we've seen them do, but when you pick it this early, it can even be a flex pick. Silencer has a lot of good matchups in mid, and overall, just this first phase in general for both teams is super teamfight heavy. So I think both teams are coming in with this plan that, all right, the way we're going to be playing this first game of the main event will be centered around taking really good teamfight executions. And yeah, Silencer breaks that up really nicely.
It'll help a lot against the Rubik and the Tide for sure. Because then if you do start an engagement, at least in the first or early part of the game, you can prevent some steals, you can make sure that the Ravage comes late or something like that.
Yeah, the potential for the team fight seems to be a very conservative way to enter a high-stakes event like this, because everyone always says, oh, your laning phase may not matter, the late game may not matter, it just matters about your initiation and your team fight execution. They've got the initiation set up as well on Virtus Pro with the Earthshaker, a hero that we've been seeing also in a variety of roles. We saw some Miracle Earthshaker in the group stage. Obviously, we saw Tim's crushing it on the Earthshaker. This is a hero that has a lot of flex potential, but is always great at initiation.
The other heroes to pay attention to, not necessarily just in this game, but the top 3.
Remaining. 5 seconds remaining. PSG.LGD. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Virtus Pro's turn to pick. PSG.LGD. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Virtus Pro's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Virtus Pro's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. PSG.LGD. Choose your hero.
much, Brian. And ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The first series we're going to be showing here on the main stage of TI9 live from Shanghai. I'm only Pixel here, folks. As Brian said, it really was sort of a one-up of each other with this draft.
It was.
But I really feel like the biggest one-up of them all was that morph. There was no hesitation there from VP. Yeah. They saw that gyro. They were picking that morph straight away.
Especially when you have the rest of the setups, right? Just like they were mentioning, it's not just that gyrocopter. They have their own backups too with that Earthshaker, even with the Brewmaster, who is the first pick. And also, let's just be really happy here that we're on the first game of the main stage, and we got an FY Rubik.
We got an FY Rubik.
We got an FY Rubik.
Oh, we do.
And I love when we see like Rubik and Morphling versus each other, because we're going to see a lot of like, it's not like spell steals, but Morphling kind of has that little like spell steal factor with him as well, right? So we could see like 3 fissures inside of fights definitely coming out into play. So
we may lose track of whose spell is whose. They're going to be thrown out everywhere. Oh, yeah. And not just sort of the Rubik, the opening to this draft, it felt very sort of old school, right? We're getting like this Rubik tied on one side, this silencer being thrown in by VP, something that we saw them do a few times back in the Epicenter Major and have a lot of success with.
Yeah.
I'm bringing something new, as mentioned on the draft panel, the Brewmaster. Not a hero we've seen yet at this TI. VP, as always, the team that you can expect to do this, they're breaking in with something a little bit different.
Yeah, I agree totally with what they're saying about like trying to break the combo. They see the Tidehunter picked up early. They're like, all right, Brewmaster, hero traditionally not picked too much, but versus that Tide, you don't have to worry so much about him cracking chilling stuff up, because you're probably just going to be searching for him in the fights just to throw him up in the air with that Cyclone of the Wind Panda. So I think the other thing they also went for is what I was talking to teams about, why Brewmaster wasn't really getting picked so much, is because his laning phase is pretty bad right now. It's what they all were in consensus with. Earthshaker allows you to kind of skip that, because you're going to fissure block the wave constantly. You're going to set up Pasha to have a much better time. So we'll see if that does play off for VP, as matching the LGD aggression, we've seen these gyrocopters just pop off.
This is a gyrocopter, though, that is going to have to start in the mid lane, and it's going to be against that No One Dazzle, another sort of VP speciality that they brought out at some of the previous DPC events.
Pretty good lane for the Dazzle, I'd imagine. Just being able to constantly poke, you have the heal to push the wave in as well, so it can be hard for you to actually secure anything as a gyro because of that here. But they're already going to start with those missiles, of course, trying to secure those range creeps. You're going to be able to get this one. It's denied.
That was really nicely done by No One. Getting the heal off before the missile connected, so he knew that he would have that time on the range creep to get the deny.
Yeah, very nicely played there. They had FY sitting mid trying to snipe a courier, so I think that's one of the telltale things, is when they're like, ooh, the matchup might be a little bit difficult for us in the mid lane, so let's try to give you a little bit of an advantage there. Isn't able to get it. He's going to go top. Try to help out Chalice. This is what I like to call the damage reduction lane, the Rubik and the Tidehunter. Throw your Fade Bolt, your Anchor Smash onto the carry. It's going to be very tough for you to get those last hits.
Yeah, on the plus side, at least it's sort of a double range lane from VP. Yes. So Ramsey's, obviously the Fade Bolt, he can't do much about getting hit by, but the Anchor Smash, you can try and sort of play it around. And eventually he's going to have those spells to be able to nuke the creeps as well.
Yeah, and he still has a silencer backing him up. One of the stronger support heroes, at least zoning these type of heroes out. Tidehunter, doesn't matter if you have Kraken Shell, because you're just going to be taking those pure damage from those glaives. So
got Roger looking for some action towards the mid. It was sort of spotted out by the ward. Still though, Somna's taking a lot of damage from this move. Will be able to stay alive and get himself back behind the tower, but they've got to be prepared for these sort of rotations, LGD.
Yeah, it's getting pressured a lot. Only the 2 or 3 last hits right now on the gyrocopter. Versus No One, as we kind of felt it would be, right? That Dazzle pick, that's why they wanted to have it versus this mid lane gyrocopter. Still having Roger kind of chilling around the area.
Yeah, it's just such a strong lane. Yeah. The offensive potential with the poison touch and these heals, as you've seen, if you're not used to it, even if you are, even if you're at the top of your game, these heals will throw you off getting those range CS.
Absolutely. But Pasha, we see he's starting to struggle, of course, because Roger's making those moves around the map. So he's just going to look to pull some creep waves, get chased out by X-Nova quite a bit here. Has this Ogre who's just going to punch him. But it's full free farm, importantly for Ame. That's the one we're looking at. The Sven is getting no pressure on him whatsoever.
Oh, bit of a lift back onto Solo. Still set up for first blood. Solo stepping up a little too far forward.
It's an FY Rubik. It's game 1 of the main stage. He wants the first blood.
Could be the beginning of a bit of an FY highlight reel, depending on how this game goes. But definitely the fact that Sven is starting well, as you say, this is what BSJ talked about. He was worried about LGD. If they can get that Gyro and Sven off to a good start, it's going to be very tough for VP to sort of hold the game off to the point where Morph is able to come to the fights and really utilize the flak without being run over.
Ooh, look at FY doubling up the wave there nicely for Chalice, making Ramsey's also farm under the tower as well. Some nice moves around here IFY just building those up. And he's just dancing around.
He is, and obviously what the VP do, they can start to walk solo over, but FY...
He's got a TP available.
He can... I mean, he's taking way too much damage. He's going to head up to the tower, but Solo, he's going to be around for the XP on that one.
Didn't get the in.
What was the plan there from FY? He's just trying to double stack the creep so they push into the tide on the top?
Yeah, I think he wants Chalice to be diving under Ramsey just like this, putting the pressure on him, not letting him to just free farm under the tower. Obviously, not wanting to die there, but it's not the biggest loss. Sure, Solo gets some gold there for himself, but you see Chalice is getting having a great time, and look at that. Look at this wave. That's a triple range creep coming in now, so that's going to be a very happy Tidehunter. So I think VP, they should take advantage of this though. I think you want to maybe rotate Roger up top, and you try to set up for trying to like push. Do not let this Tidehunter get that creep wave off of the tower. And look at this. This is really this could actually chunk the tower down a lot. So Chalice, he has a skill of Gush, but he has the skill point in Gush, but no mana just yet. And Roger is making the move over.
And he's got that arcane range, so it's likely that he's going to get the chance to get a couple of fishes out. So we see the opening, in they go, collapsing in onto Chalice. TP over will be coming through from the Ogre. They're blocking Chalice off. F1's there. You've got the Ramsey starts the ship, turns towards F1, has to wait for that over towards the trees and out of there. Chalice still alive. PSG.LGD will be able to keep Chalice safe with the support rotation. They're still trying to cope. Chalice, he's come back up. The curse is on and Chalice will still end up going down. Now VP turning their attention over towards X-Nova. They're going to try and chase for another. The Fade Bolt from FY will come out.
There's just too many creeps. They clipped the wave under the tower too, so they just continue diving forward.
Yeah, those stacked up creeps working against PSG.LGD there in that sense. And in fact, VP, they're still poking and they're still fighting. PSG.LGD is trying to come back in for the rune contest, but VP's already picked it up. Be able to grab that one in the top one. Meanwhile, down bottom, Arme does continue to get all the space in the world, enough space himself to head over and grab those 2 bounty runes for the team.
And he's going to be the full free farm. The other gun, though, if you look at the mid lane, look at that Dazzle. 31 and 10 to the 18-3.
It's just the power.
He has really done a great job in this matchup here. They're even trying to fix this right now with a gank setup. There's not level 6 yet on that gyrocopter, so no call down available. TP is at the ready. Roger's already prepared for this. He's actually smoking himself alone to try to catch something here, and he breaks this.
He sees the entire movement, sees the 2 supports in the river as the smoke breaks, and no one is going to be very, very safe and sound. They cannot get that surprise movement onto him.
Pasha dropping low from the cleave. Be careful not to step up too far. A couple more hits and a stun, and he probably can go down here. Pasha just stepped up.
Pasha getting a little shaky on the main stage. We saw some of those deaths from Pasha in the group stage.
Yeah, if
you got lucky, the team would have hoped that it sort of left those behind, but
he did get the drunken brawler off before the attack, so it was like a 50-50 chance, but still.
You shouldn't raise for that sort of RNG. That's not good odds.
Yeah.
They do also manage to get the courier here. BP, so taking that one down from LGD and getting that gold bonus.
They were actually able to finish. I saw Roger chasing it with illusions, but wow, he was actually good to chase it and finish it. That's a bit surprising there, LGD getting caught off guard. Still farming very well, as we were saying.
Yeah, Arme is, especially with that kill, this Sven lane has just gone better to better.
Yeah, how's their stacks looking? Looks like they're starting to prepare them. Both FY and X-Nova will start to do those for the Sven and the Gyro. Both of them can benefit a lot from that, as we probably expect Somnus, though, to be the one who's going to be running around more so as this Gyro ganking while Ame just farms. But Ame's off to such a great start. And immediately starts pressuring Pasha as well.
And Pasha really does have to be careful.
He's doing pretty well, though. Like the shared gold, it's not the greatest, but he's kind of tied with the gyrocopter and extra timer, so it's pretty decent. But levels, almost a level 6 Brewmaster. So in this game, the Brew has a lot of different potential he can do. Has to be careful of some steals later on from the Brew. You can cover it pretty easily with your Brawler, but he can dispel the Bloodlust, he can dispel the Warcry, throwing up that Tidehunter as we talked about as well. Going to be very important for that VP sides team fights. There's Pasha. Making an invasive play here. Not quite level 6, pretty close to it as well.
He's going to get surrounded.
Get surrounded here.
Oh, the 3 of them after going for the high ground. He has got no one by his side. So we'll be able to walk away. The point shed, of course, in the grave, fully offensive, with no one with a skill build at the moment.
As expected. He's also queued up the book, which we also see to expect pretty much every single time on the core dazzles. The one thing is, though, they do have great ways to farm that book, so I think no one does have to be careful when he is like pushing out waves and farming with these, because Gyrocopter and Sven, they eat that book very easily whenever it is going to be used, if it's not inside of just a farming position in the jungle. Solo is spotted on his warding expedition. He's looking in some trouble.
He's got a lot of backup coming in as well, Armate. They should be able to slow this one down. Missiles out. Fisher block from Roger.
Very nicely done.
Will actually shut the play down. They won't be able to chase.
Radiant's middle tower.
And this is them all bringing the attention away from Ramses. He's able to just get all these free last hits top now, landing alone versus Chalice. Just keeps turning into the Tidehunter, throwing some gushes and anchor smashes onto him, then shits back to his form. As LGD, they're playing the farm game. You can just tell from the way they're setting up for all this, getting all these stacks prepared. And now they'll give FY the lane, as Almay will just jungle it up. Next level will sap that experience. And it looks like VP, they want to get on the aggressive side here. They want to make the move bottom. They see that the Rubik is farming the lane, so they're like, all right, Sven's jungling, we have to put pressure on. Don't let this Rubik just keep fade bolting the wave and getting all this farm. So this looks like they're going to just surround and go for this tier 1 as we expected. LGD will probably do the same on the other side of the map, probably going for the mid tower or that top. Still will be the mid. So a little bit of mirror movements coming into play here from both sides.
We'll see who's able to start the fight first as Arme. Close to no one starts to poke. We'll get the grab hand, they've been blocked up, kept on the high ground. There's the ult from Pasha, they're ready to run them down. They're straight away on top of the Gyrocopter. Somnus, he's in trouble, they're taking him out. The rest of LGD will be able to get away, but again, Roger blocking off the entire team with that Fisher. They're even going to be able to look to chase Arme a little bit, but the split will end. They won't push it any further. Still, though, great defense from VP.
Yep, bringing Pasha there. Roger, again, being in the right place at the right time. So far, Roger on point with his Earthshaker rotations in this start, these first 10 minutes. Only level 3, as he's been forced to move around a lot, but he's got the tome. He'll be able to catch back up soon. And it looks like they're actually giving Somnus the tome in this one. Maybe will be the one taking it from his team. He probably just feels like he got set back up a little bit too much versus that Dazzle. Sure, they don't have their Rubik level 6, but he'll probably go to buy the other tome soon. Yeah, really prioritizing having that Gyro off to a good start in that early game. Probably because they want to be able to farm. Like Tidehunter, not really that one who can run around and make plays too much early on. Sure, you have Ravage, but your Gyro is that main driving force of your aggression on the LGD side until the later stages.
Sure, and even though his farm might not be good, as long as he can have Arme in the front and he's able to get out all his spells, the magical output of the Gyro at this point is still something that VP have to be very wary of.
Absolutely.
Just have to make sure that they can get past Arme and get on top of Somnus, as he is still vulnerable at the moment with that lack of farm that he can find in middle. Top lane, space is there, they'll take a tower. Arme's farm continues to skyrocket as he hits 6k net worth at 11 minutes in.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Looks like Ramsey is still going to be going for that Linken's first item. Probably the Linken's into the Aghanims in this game, as the panel was mentioning. Such a good Aghs game, as he has that Earthshaker on his team. But the Linken's very good versus those instant disables, in particular the Rubik.
And he's coming with the wraparound onto mid, looking for FY. FY has got the heal stolen.
But the poison and the Arcane Curse, he's ticking away.
Goodbye. They got it. A lot of damage over time, as you say. Those two spells, a bit of a nightmare for FY. At least the Ogre won't care too much. He's a little tankier, but anytime FY gets caught out by those two,
they're trying to take advantage here of the slight time that they expect the Brew ult to be down. But Brew ult's going to be back up in about 5 seconds. Pasha does have a TP. He's setting up immediately. Defense of the mid tower.
And again, Roger. He keeps blocking LGD off. They keep coming over to VP's top of the map and they can't get back to their own. X-Over's trapped. Roger himself, can he get away? With the telekinesis from FY, dragging it back into the missile combo. Stoked out Roger, he's still alive. LGD cannot get the trade kill as Arme tries to move forward, but all the damage over time is a pretty sizable heal bomb. Ramsey's looking for Arme. Arme's dead. The challenge, it's a 5-man Ravage, but he's there. The follow-up sticks a pop. VP, the back into the ball. They'll collapse immediately onto Somnus. They'll get themselves another chalice. Will be able to escape. But VP, they are outplaying and coordinating these team fights to perfection.
Such beautiful rotation. I mean, Roger is just coming in so clutch for his team. That wraparound, again, he even gets put in the front lines, and he survives during all of it. They don't have the damage because of how underfarmed the Gyro is. Look at Maybe in the game. He's bottom 5 net worth. They don't have the damage for when he's in there.
And that's the second time that LGD's fallen for it. They're sending 3 heroes over the river, and it's as if they're forgetting that there's a Shaker in the game.
Such beautiful plays there by Roger. Yeah, like we said, too tanky for him to even go on. Ramses turns into the Morphling there, or turns into the Gyrocopter. Sure, they get double stunned, but at this moment in time, they're way too strong.
It's a bad call from LGD to try and stick around for the fight. They feel confident because they have the Ravage. But at that point, Ame's already dead. There's no way for them to follow it up.
He's not ready to fight just yet. I mean, he's got the phase, he's got the Midas, he pretty much has the Echo for now finished, but there's a lot of ways to control him, as we said, from that side of VP. This early game aggression coming from this Dazzle, from this Brewmaster, from this Earthshaker seems to be a bit too much for LGD to take right now.
I mean, if LGD want to fight, they've got to do it when they know there's no split. They know there's no global. This is that little bit of an opportunity, but it is hard because Chalice chose to try and commit to that last fight with the Ravage.
And we saw too, right? Like right when the Ravage went off, we saw Solo pops the global before he gets hit by it. So there's no follow-up. Even though in that instance there probably wasn't.
I mean, there was like no one around anyway.
But yeah, just you see what the plan is, why he wanted that silencer.
Still, the net worth very close due to the fact that Ame, even though it was taken out, was able to get back onto the map, and with that Midas finish Echo Saber, he can keep that farm pace up very, very high. The gap is being closed between himself and Nolan and Ramses. Both the Morph and Dazzle race to get on par with the Sven's farm, and if VP are able to start to gear up and push around this Dazzle and his Necro, but getting those towers, that net worth will swing even further in VP's favor.
I mean, the Necro won, and then he's just going, he's already queued up the mech. He's going straight for mech, trying to deal with all that damage that can be coming out from LGD. They're going to be able to counteract a lot of it. Not just that, they're going to get a couple timings together, it might seem, here for VP, as the Blink Dagger from Roger is only 600 gold away. And if we look at the initiation, it's kind of limited until they get that like Blink Dagger either on the Sven or on the Tidehunter, which they both do have queued up. It will take them some time. So Roger could come in really clutch if he's able to get that one at an early pace, and they're giving him the farm. Very close to that blink. They're all already grouped up. The split is available again.
Now LGD just avoiding VP entirely for now. See if they do anything about this tier 2 tower push. TP does come in from Xnova with the push of the Necro, but VP a lot of damage to this tier 2. LGD will start to get close to the tier 2 top. Maybe think about looking for a trade, but it's not going to be easy. Bottom lane Pasha trying for the wraparound. Xnova's already out of there, but the tower goes down for the 16-minute mark. VP continuing to keep the pressure up. They want to try and dive this. They're going to. Ramses goes straight forward up to the high ground. Xnova's dead. Killing spree for Ramses. TPs will start to now come through from PSG.LGD, but VP are able to easily back off, get themselves out of there.
They got what they wanted. They didn't get an extra kill out of it. They've got map control too. LGD not looking to want to fight until I believe they have those blinks. I think they need some easier ways to set up the fights to be able to just instantly kill someone on the side of VP. VP, when they're all rallied together, they're just seeming way too strong right now. And now the Blink Dagger is already finished up for Roger. I believe it's coming out on that courier.
And it's just the way that VP's playing. I don't blame sort of Brian in the analysts at the start. You know, you look at these lineups and you think, well, the Gyro Sven, they're going to be able to play the fastest. There's a Morph. He's going to need time. But Ramses is actually able to get really active across the map because they have this mid-dazzle. No one's just this force that enables the Morph so early on. It doesn't matter if Ramses is committing, getting low on the HP, because there will be that burst heal and time for him to shift back. He can play so aggressive, catching them off a little bit. Now down bottom. They
don't have enough.
The split's going to be out. They're going to look towards Ame. They're going to surround him. Another heal one for no one. Bringing Ame down low up the wall side.
They left him.
He's abandoned. They've abandoned him. They know that there's no hope for Ame. As VP making moves there with just the two of them, taking down Ame, the most farmed hero, of course, on LGD's lineup. He just gets shredded by these heroes.
Yep. Pasha in this game, just be able to get how much he got down bottom because of the fissure blocks and everything from Roger. I'm definitely going to be giving Roger a lot of that credit there for that the setup that's going on for the Brew. He's able to do so much, and now we're wondering, why is Brew not being picked a little bit more? You see how powerful it is. Whenever he has the ulti up, LGD's just booking it.
Apart from that one death in the lane, but hey, you know, it's the first first time the hero's been picked this TI. It takes a bit of warming up.
Sure. I mean, he's still got so much done. And
oh, yeah, he is.
With the combo.
He's in the zone now, Pasha.
Yeah, with the dazzle, it's seeming really powerful, really potent, how much aggression they can really start over the early game and just allow Ramses to pretty much do whatever he wants as Ramses. He's gone greedy. He actually had the gold for the Lincolns, and he's like, I'm buying the point booster. I'm getting set up. I'm getting ready for my Aghanim's. You know, I'm just starting to prep that. So I know what we're going to get to in this point, as we see that Dota Plus win probability already highly favoring VP. But LGD, they've got their timing now. They've got the blink on Chalice.
They do.
Are they going to be able to find anything?
But at the same time, there's also the potential to global side. They'll find Solos. There won't be a global. Or maybe they will. He's still alive because of the fact that Roger's able to throw himself in. Global's out. Roger keeping Solos safe. The heals are there. Chalice will now pop the damage. Ooh, the big one for LGD, but can they find any more? They'll start to move across. But to no one with a gush. Another curse thrown out by Solo onto both X-Nova and Chalice. They're trying to chase for more here, LGD.
They know there's no Bruce split. That's the one thing. They're playing around that long cooldown timing. Trying to
pressure on. Looks like he may be a little too deep for them to continue to dive.
Ramses, he actually clicked the shrine, but he didn't click his attribute shift. So he just gets caught by the stun and dies. If he gets the shift off, he might be alright just there.
Chalice taking quite a beat down here from VP.
He's got the constant dispels going.
Roger was trying to sit at the backlines in the river, looking for a potential to get him with the Blink Echo, but Arme finds him.
And how quickly the tides have turned.
Oh yeah, with Ramses falling like that, and Arme and Somnus getting involved in these big kills. The slight gold difference swings back in LGD's favor.
Now you have to be wondering if how painful that point booster pickup by Ramses was instead of having a Lincoln's in the fight. He would have had it finished. He had the gold when he went to go purchase it.
Radiant
Hope he gets punished for his greed. As not only just that gold lead swing, you see the experience. It was 2k in advantage for VP. It swings heavily up towards LG.
Let's see how the gold swings here around these runes. Bounty rune wise, LGD, they've got heroes set up, down, bottom. They're going to be able to get the majority of them. They're 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
2 for 2. Pasha was able to get both of those.
The bottles sometimes confuse things. But they have their
it was 3 for 1, right? Yeah, it was 3 for 1.
3 for 1, you're right.
Yeah, the bottle confused.
I saw an illusion.
Yeah, confused me as well. Maybe question myself, but yeah, they managed to get the majority of LGD.
Yeah. They can go into this Pro split, they have their Bruce split, they know that LGD does not have their Tidehunter rep or that God Strength actually.
How long? Yeah, still a bit of time to God Strength.
Yeah.
Can they still try and push VP out of the pit?
Just sitting around the area.
If they could time it right and get him with the stuns.
There's 50 seconds without Gotcha, but they have BKB on the spot.
King Chalice jumping to get the vision, stun out to Ramses. Now the primal split comes out from VP, and now it becomes a lot harder for LGD to get close to the pit. As Pasha will be able to hold the team away and get that space for Roshan to fall and Aegis to be claimed by Ramses.
They might look for a fight anyway, though, on LGD, because they know that there's no split available. Chalice is committing forward. They're going to have Ravage, they're going to have God Strength and BKB on the Sven. They want somebody here.
They are committing far. Just to be a little wary of Roger having the Echo Slam available. Something is ready to go in underneath the tower. Then goes for the shallow grave, keeping Roger alive. So try. Jumps in, Echo Slam's out, but he does nothing at all. The BKB's out from Arme. He'll turn over towards no one. The stun control from X-Nova isn't enough. No one while he heals. They've got the damage. LGD, they get both. As Chalice sees the perfect opportunity. He's not even done yet. Jumps in for another anchor smash. Keeps the pressure on VP as they're pushed back away from the tier 2 tower. And despite getting the Roche, getting the Aegis, they lose the following fight and they'll lose more map control.
It's the little things, right? Chalice just blinking into the pit there initially, giving vision, causing Pasha to kind of be like, oh my god, I actually need to split for this situation. Allows them then afterwards, they know they have the way advantageous team fight versus VP when they don't have split available. Chalice with no fear. He's playing versus that lineup where he's like, they don't really have ways to burst me down as a Tidehunter in this game. With this hood available, he can just freely jump in like that. And yeah, like you said, the beautiful 5-man ravages we're going to see again here.
I mean, it looks like maybe they'll lose a couple, but indeed, Chalice in the perfect position, even tickling Solo on the edge there. Every single member of VP caught out by that play.
And Pasha, you could tell, he was like, I'm not liking this fight too much. He was even starting to TP out. Someone made the call, though, to try to keep going, and they ended up losing a couple heroes there.
It doesn't get more perfect than that for this Tidehunter. 5k lead off the back of those plays
5.
Roshan gone wrong, but not in the traditional sense. But VP still managing to be the ones getting the Aegis. It did not matter.
Still gonna have, now they're gonna have Bruce Split available again. So like we're seeing, it's gonna be back and forth whenever these long cooldowns are off for VP. Look at them looking to bring the fight. They're Aghanim's on the morph too, so he will also be pretty scary when he gets that. As we see that shift at the 18-minute mark, a 70% chance for that Dota Plus for VP. Now all the way to that 50-50.
Roaches is not always the answer.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So making that play, not a play you'd always see, only to the top teams would make that.
Yeah,
to go in aggressive after the other team gets Roshan and Aegis. Normally it's okay, they've got Aegis, we've got to reset. They're keeping the pressure on, and LGD, they're straight back in, looking for the next fight already.
Going for the big wraparound, but the scan comes out from VP. They think they even got a slight vision of Ame there for a second there when they're trying to get the wrap. So you see LGD, they're trying to get the wraparound, get the backlines. Even though they're playing into the Bruce Split there, they're looking for the Earthshaker. They're looking for that Brewmaster.
No,
trying to catch it.
It's just every time that Ravage is back up, they're instantly looking for action. No slowdown in play from PSG.LGD, and this is starting to be the tempo that the draft panel talked about. This is what you expect from this lineup. Gyro, Rubik, and Sven ready to fight more than ever at this 24-minute mark.
And double BKBs at the ready, so they're feeling a lot more careful versus this VP side. VP just, I think with this Aegis, this is like the farming Aegis. Just get the Aghanims on that morph so they can start hopping around as that Earthshaker inside of the fight's getting into the backlines onto those supports. But LGD, they're staying in unison, and every single one of them playing around each other, all grouped up and now down bottom as 5. Got about 1 minute and 10 seconds left on that Aegis.
Radiant's top tower
As
is under
LGD,
attack.
they want these bounties.
If you want to try and force this fight here, they know that LGD's got the numbers, but they do have that Aegis on Ramses. They're leading next up against the stun. We'll send Ame up into the air. Chalice is able to get in and claim the bounty rune.
You have to back away though, Pasha. That's a fully defensive split. He can't stay there. That's the other thing too, is the Brewmaster. We're talking about, like, sometimes, we haven't seen it in a while. Versus Gyro and Sven, sure, you can dispel some stuff, but your Brewlings die very quickly to the combo of the Flak plus that cleave coming out from Sven.
And Roger's got to be careful.
It really does.
A couple of times where he's the one getting jumped on the front lines. They need that Shaker to jump and go. Without the Shaker, there isn't that instant lockdown. There isn't that initiation really from VP's lineup. They have to make sure that Roger's able to get his spells off.
They're really starting to hemorrhage just a bit too much here, as it's that 7k advantage. And LGD, they're getting all these bounty runes too.
Oh, they are. You see there?
They're still chilling up top. It's 3 bounty runes for them. The 4th one is still waiting there, so able to keep increasing that lead, and the Aegis will get reclaimed. But I believe that Ag's Morphling is online. We'll see what VP is going to be able to make of it.
Let's see if this is what they're missing. The last few fights have been disastrous for VP.
It still feels like they need their BKBs though too. Like, they've got this Ags on the Morphling, which is fantastic, but there's just so much magical damage and control that's really coming out from LGD's side. Fear of what a Rubik really can provide, even though FY hasn't been having like the greatest steals or anything like that, just getting the instant lifts or breaking some Lincolns.
I mean, what are the big steals that FY's looking out for?
Fissure.
Yeah,
Fissure's probably the biggest one. Bruce Split, of course, but you're not likely to get down versus Drunken Brawler unless you immediately get the lift off before as soon as he gets out, which you can do, but...
And by that time, the fight's probably over. Yeah. Maybe it helps you, chase for the cleanup kills.
Yeah, I would...
Turn a bad fight even worse for VP. With that chase potential.
Still grouped up though, VP now.
He is out on his own. Go into the trees. We'll go for the TP. Roger.
He's just going to get stunned up.
No, he is trapped in there, but VP a little scared. They're aware that there could definitely be quick reactions. PSG.LGD are starting to come over, but Arne was still relatively alone. VP just didn't know. They didn't want to make the mistakes they made earlier and try and force a fight straight up. Now they'll go back with the smoke.
They didn't have any information.
They've drawn the attention. A Solo, he'll head up to the high ground, blink over from Chalice, catches the vision of the Solo. It's going to be focused first. Fisher comes out from Roger. Trying to keep Solo safe. They've got to make sure that both Solo and Roger get the chance to use that axe, get their odds out. Commit toward Chalice. Chalice has the Ravage, ready to pop. Holding on to it for now. Ramses into the shaker he goes, chases down X-Nova. They're pushing PSG.LGD back up to the high ground, but it's still hard for VP to find the jump that they hope for. As PSG.LGD, they know exactly what's waiting for them on the low ground.
Yeah, and the Ags Morphling, you know, it's strong because Ramses is really high level, but you also want your Earthshaker to be high level. You need him to have that max enchant totem for it to really become that super powerhouse. So only 2 points still for Roger, only level 11. He moves up some level so that they can actually start using that power of the enchant totem.
Yeah, they know themselves. VP, they're still not quite ready to take a full 5v5. It's not easy.
Oh, and look at Ame's pickup here. A little bit, not really super unorthodox, but the Orchid now for that Sven as well. Multiple different ways to catch Ramses. Yep. Ramses gonna be in trouble. Not only just Ramses, Pasha as well. Brewmaster hates playing versus silences.
Fine. Still escape back to base. And got the stick charges and the heals. He's been buying a very far on the way to make sure that he's not going to get burst.
He's like, I died to that damage over time before.
He knows how much it hurts. But absolutely, you say with that Orchid, there's still a bit of time where Ramses hasn't got that BKB.
Him
got to make sure he's got it ready as soon as they'll see that Orchid's out.
A lot of different targets they can go for it. Pasha being one of those main ones, like I was saying, that silence. He does want to throw it out. It's a bit too close to the base though, being a little bit reluctant.
VP just trying their best to split the map up. Now you know that LGD's playing as a unit now.
Roger. Getting stalked here by Ame. We'll be able to back off. So 30 seconds, we're going to have these bounty runes coming out. LGD, they've got creeps hitting the base. They're actually forcing a reaction to the base right now, so they're going to look to make an aggressive play. They're like, all right, Silencer just went top. We can definitely look for a fight right now. With a full butterfly finished up on Sophis, they're jumping for
to shift before the silence came in. So Ramses has got enough HP to be able to waveform back out of there. Pasha going to start to fight back with the final split. Surrounding X-Nova, Somnus with the flag. Will start to kill off the Brewlings very, very quickly. Pasha's got to be careful. It's a triple buyback from VPs. They'll try and turn.
Oh my god.
But I mean, I got baited. I saw a shaker
die.
I was like, Roger says, I know, hang on. That's Ramses.
He's getting caught off.
Ramses at the start of the fight.
That Orchid, it's really catching him off guard there.
It looked like Ramses was safe for sure. He built up all the HP, but he ends up back in the middle of the fight as the shaker, and he dies straight away.
They're really starting to run away with. He don't have anything available. Roger, sure, he's got echoes.
Risky play from VP. It's not a quick Roche. They're trying. They've used 3 buybacks for this attempt.
Chalice is in immediately.
I don't know if VP can get away with this.
Doesn't look like he's jumping forward.
He did not get the blink off as VP. They've got to back off.
Oh my! He had it up too. I had him clicked on. It was not cancelled. He just didn't get it off there.
Ramses going in again. He has to be careful though when he's the shaker. We saw him get tripped up in that mid lane, and now PSG.LGD holding on to a mighty 12k gold lead.
And that was VP buying back 3 heroes, trying to get something, just desperately trying to get anything out of it, and they can't. This Orchid, Ame, purchasing this was just causing so many problems for VP. They're set up here for the fights, but
he needs that BKB, but
really
again, it's still back to that point where he's only halfway towards the money. It's going to take a lot more time. We'll see this again from Roger. He said nothing cancels this.
No, look, he just echoes the floor. He was.
It was still on cooldown.
It was still on cooldown. Okay.
Maybe it was just still on cooldown from before.
I guess it must have still. All right, when I clicked, it looked like I must have clicked it a second later.
Because he didn't look at it like anything cancelled it. I think maybe just in his mind he thought that the timing was there, and that 15 seconds was still ticking down.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a lot of momentum. That's out to me. Look at this, like Somnus, he's super farmed out. Pretty much all the important heroes on the side of PSG.LGD, they have the farm. While in VP, they're really starting to fall behind. That mid game, that early game, that dazzle, sure, no one, he's 4-1-4, but it's a dazzle now at this point. It's become very hard.
Just finding 3 kills across the map. Solo trying to push out that top lane.
Uh-oh.
Michelle, I must have known that that was going to end in death. I guess at least trying to use his life to make sure that the lanes are pushed out. That's more kills for LGD. It's only 11 to 10, but just the fact that the kills have meant that much more. The buybacks have heavily set VP behind, and the farm rate of Arme's, Sven, and Somnus' gyro is just at a rate that's very hard. It's really easy to keep up with as a whole, and the difference between the supports are there as well. Space is there, easy Roche, easy Aegis for Somnus.
It's really telltale that VP has only gotten 1 kill in the last 16 minutes. How aggressive and how dominant LGD really has been around this mid game. Look at that one ticker. They've gotten an Ogre Magi kill in the last 16 minutes. Besides that, it's been only LGD just cruising through, finding every single fight that they want. Pretty much right when I had said that I think Brewmaster was looking pretty good and why haven't we seen Brewmaster, it just completely shifted the other way around.
It's a game against a Sven and a Gyro. Two of the best carries in the game to kill the Brewlings.
Yep.
Not easy for Pasha.
They got the BKB now on Ramsey, so he's going to be feeling a lot safer. But there's still so much damage now, and now at this deficit, do they even have the damage to deal with LGD's draft? As the BKBs, like we said already, they've got their Aegises as well. And Chalice now picking up more items too. Has the Mac, gonna be going for Greaves too. So a lot of mitigation gonna be coming out for PSG.LGD. They do have Roger also hitting level 14 now for VP, so in relation to Ramses, he's gonna have that Max Enchant Totem. Yeah, double bloodlusted cores on PSG.LGD. Two of the best, like you were saying.
I mean, is there a chance for VP that this more could be the game-winning element? Is the sort of the Morph Shaker interaction strong enough to win a game when they're 15k down?
They have to get some better forms of initiation. Roger, having such a solid early game, has not been able to find almost anything after that. Seems like PSG.LGD always seems to know where he is in the fights and catching him at the start. VP, they will look to set up for bounties.
Walking to his death.
They want more. But they won't find it.
Just have that BKB Ramses, so a little harder for them to catch out.
They're not really splitting up much versus this Morphling, so when I have seen... Oh, Ex Nova though, they're jumping forward for him.
Try for the quick kill with the waveform, and they definitely try to... Roger's gonna buy him some safeties, he jumps in with the Echo. Noble popped as well. EP will try and chase for another, they blocked off Chalice with the Fisher. He's very tanky. Tanky enough that they won't be able to commit and stick on him. Chalice is able to walk away. It's a buyback from Pasha, and again, it's just the Ogre dying. They cannot find any of the big kills.
And that was an Echo Slam committed too. And they only get that Ogre. Now a full Aghanim's finished up on the Gyrocopter as well. Ramses considering going for something here. There's still the BKBs available. He's just in.
All of the big heroes are here for PSG.LGD. VP have to hold back. There's no way that it's in their best interest to try and find a fight, and they will back away.
So some of the times when I have seen things with the Earthshakers, what ends up happening is one team starts splitting up, and that's where the Morphling really starts picking himself up. You get the 1-by-1 kills constantly, you get these massive amounts of experience, but PSG.LGD, look at this, they're all just grouped up, they know how strong they are, they still have their Aegis available too, they're trying not to give VP any little type of breathing room at all.
They're playing phenomenally as a team here.
Oh, he's trapped. Oh, he's gonna be able to move out of that? Nope. Kind of stuck, he'll get out of it. Chalice.
Time to find some safety for Ramses. He's back in the ball. Will jump away. BKB popped by no one. BKB from Arme also about to wear off. So despite Chalice getting a big jump, this time VP won't have any casualties. They'll get everyone back to safety.
Actually, nobody dies from that. He lands like a Dream Ravage in the backlines, but they're able to disengage.
They've got the items now, VP, having those BKBs. The Linkers and the BKB, of course, on Ramses. They can play their way out of it.
But do they have the damage is the question. They're going to be able to disengage, but will they actually ever be able to look for kills, setting up onto Somnus and onto Ame? It's seeming extremely difficult here, as Chalice always just seems to be in the front lines, not really taking too much damage. And immediately we'll blink away from Ramses. Yeah, they're just so tanky, and they're really all just starting to pick up more and more items. FY, quiet game, but you look at him trickling up on that net worth. He's ahead of Pasha on the Brewmaster. He's got a Hex queued up. We're already talking about the problems for Ramses getting caught by these stuns, by these silences. If they do ever get that, definitely going to be a really hard game for the Morphling.
Yeah, applies on both cores as well. Ame and Somnus.
Oh, Ame also finished
yeah, he goes for the butterfly.
Selling that minus. Not wanting to pick up an AC. He just wants to get this instead for his. He's going to be able to have that 1-to-1. No one really going to be able to bring him down too hard. The enchant totem, though, from the Morphling, you know, you do get that true strike.
Which you do, right?
That'll be one thing, but...
Which you can sort of make it like, well, why the butterfly? We do see, obviously, butterfly
it's such a value.
sometimes.
It's just such a value
The attack speed.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, adds a little bit of armor that gives, I guess. And of course, with just everything else that's going to be trying to take him in the final.
Yeah.
The split, the summons from no one.
Strength Hero is like even like dating back forever. It's always been like, I want to buy a butterfly, but you sometimes you just don't have the slots for it. This time he's feeling super confident. They have a 20k gold lead. VP starting to trickle their way out forward here. What can they find?
Ramses. He's going to try and look for the opening to get the ball shot at Timber. Catch it for a little bit with that shadow effect, but he's silenced, surrounded by Silence. Bash is dead. No one is in position, so he'll kill him off through the Glimmer Cave. As no one bites back. Finds him hiding in the trees. Roger, as this is just getting very, very nasty for VP. Every single fight, every single play. I mean, poor on X-Nova, he's taking one for the team this game. He is the only guy that's died on LG's lineup, it feels like, in the last 20 minutes, right?
He is the only one who died in the last 20 minutes. Yep. 3 deaths for the Ogre, unable to find any kills.
All working to plan. The Ogre Magpie straps are real here. And it's absolutely working for LGD.
Hey, he's doing his job. He's bloodlusting the fights, and then he dies. They're like, hi, X-Nova, great job. As yeah, they're really starting to... I mean, they have been running away with this one for about 20 minutes now. VP unable to really find any... He's stepping up. His BKB just comes back up.
Whoa. It's got to be careful.
That was a little scary.
It's got to feel rough for VP. I mean, they've only killed the Ogre. They cannot kill anyone else, it seems, on PSG.LGD's team.
Oh, look at this. This too. A bit of a... Bit of an unorthodox build. Another Basher being built up on a gyrocopter after the Aghanims. So some more control for that Morphling.
I mean, they're
probably feeling themselves.
They're feeling it now, PSG.LGD. They know. 40 minutes in, 27k advantage. 25's coming out as well. Can VP swing this game around? They're running a lineup that has that brew off lane, this dazzle mid. I feel like sort of these heroes, their time in the game, it's kind of passed.
It passed a long time ago.
It's all on the Morphling. Yeah. It's all on Ramses.
It's a full 4 protect 1 that in the mid game got completely outran here by LGD. They've lost their timings.
I mean, if they can hold and keep it up, is there not going to be a point of the game where Ramses is like, well, I need to start building right click and screw the shape. I've got to become the Jara.
He has to. I mean, he has to get the Manta as well, though. That's the problem, is that these silences and this control is just too much.
He's not investing yet, so do you think he's thinking, well, let's get a right click. Let's get some damage items.
But what would he get? That's the one thing I'm trying to think. What's the solution? What right item?
Yeah, Rapier, become Gyro, bam.
Still very difficult. There's tanky, right? Even then.
Always get the hits off. I think he's thinking about it. He's still not spending, maybe because he wants both and buybacks.
I do believe.
I know he's got the recipe anyway, so he is going to continue with the safety route, get that Manta done, and make sure he's got the money. But yeah, he's just 200 gold short. So
Courier
should have them. Oh no, that's his Manta.
That's the Manta.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got buyback, but he is going to be short of that Manta star for 3 minutes.
And they've already been unable to really kill anybody besides the Ogre, like you said. Aditi
all right. I think PSG.LGD is gearing up for the finishing blow to VP in this game 1.
They have a Hex on the Rubik as well, like I was mentioning. So those instant disables, we're going to have to watch Ramses if he's going to be able to get that BKB off before he gets caught. Pasha, they're both playing on the left side there. Oh man, already pops the construct, ready to go.
Catch up to Basha, who's held in the back, silence to make sure the Basha can time. He's not dying today.
That was one of the cheeses, I believe, because they still have the second one, so yeah. And now a full refresher as well. I think they had a refresher shard as well, right? I think they must have used it before.
X-Nova. He had the cheese. They prepared him. They prepared him for this push. They made sure he took his dinner with him. As now they can't even kill the ogre.
No, they. Maybe they'll give him another one. Do they give him the next cheese? No, they're gonna keep FY.
But the mentality now. They've tried to kill the ogre. They can't even kill the ogre. As this lead just continues to go up. We've seen VP in this situation quite a few times and game 2 hasn't gone a lot better after game 1's been this rough. A lot of the games in the group stage where VP didn't lose, it was very one-sided, very Ramsey's catching onto Solo and Ramsey's he's trying to play his way out back. Stream out Fisher and jump away. Lighting up LGD for now. X-Nova steps forward, throws out a fire blast, grieves a pop. Back onto the structures. Another tower taken. This push isn't going anywhere. LGD making themselves inside the base. A beautiful comeback story from the over this game. From dying every team fight to taking out their carries. As the racks are down.
That's got it.
GG well played. It's a win for LGD. It's a win for Commander. Can they be back in game 2? I don't know if they... to open up on the main stage, but for PSG.LGD in front of the home crowd, this couldn't have gone any better.
No, it seemed like these first